Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this hearing to order and acknowledge that we're in Treaty 1 territory, the home and the traditional lands of the Ojibwe, the Cree, Dakota people, and the national homelands of the River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. Excuse me. My name is Ron Merritt. I'll be your chairperson this morning. Introducing the panel members via Zoom is Mr. Richard Whitbread, and joining him also as a panel member is Kevin Stephenson. Our recording secretary is Nicole Carnegie, and representing the city of Winnipeg from the assessment department is Orca Adark Hanoff. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note that you will be placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. Then it'll be your turn and you will be admitted to the meeting. Kindly follow along the City of Winnipeg Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you to the hearing, you may close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak in respect to your property. Once your hearing has been concluded, you'll be able to leave the meeting. This morning, we'll be hearing applications of revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested has been described in each application, and we will limit discussions to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anybody speaking of these matters must be sworn in. Please be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The board is appointed annually by City Council and is independent of it, along with the city administration. We make our decisions based on the evidence provided at this hearing and issue a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board decision in respect to application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to application from exemption from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included in the board's order. In respect to the hearing this morning, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We'll then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then it'll be the applicant's testimony, followed by questions. Each party will have the opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket this morning. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You'll receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live stream recorded and will be part of the public record. This morning, we'll be hearing items 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. So I will ask Ms. Carnegie to affirm the assessor and to get the applicant's testimony. Ms. Carnegie, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. and Ms. Cesario and Mr. Manigoli, I'm just going to put you back in the waiting room until it is your item's turn to be heard, okay?
Perfect.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. The first item that we have is...
I'm just going to affirm the assessor and the applicant, yeah. Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Arka Ederhanov.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
Wonderful, thank you. Mr. Sharples, please state your full name.
Grayson Sharples.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The first item that we have is item number 1, file number 23-379. It's on Ruby Street and there is no civic address. So, Mr. Assessor, whenever you're ready, you can take us through this property.
All right. So, subject property as roll number is 1208209800. It is located on a Ruby Street without a specific civic address given to it. Legal description is lot 20, plan 34394, parish 6164, Saint, yes, it says, well, it states here STJA. You're supposed to read St. James, but I don't know why it got cut off. Okay, so it's a vacant residential property located in a Woolsey neighborhood, zoned R2, and with the assessed lot size of 2,954 square feet. Has a commercial adjacent land influence. 2024 assessed value is $197,000. For the comparables, all of the comparables that I have provided are located on Woolsey area. They are all vacant land. They were all vacant lands at the time of sale. And first comparable would be 543 Newman Street. Its most recent sale. It's also located in Woolsey neighborhood. It's 2,816 square feet, R2 zoning. That property sold on July 15th for $195,000. Or July 15th, 2020 for $195,000. Comparable number 2, located on 481 Craig Street, also in Woolsey, same zoning as subject property, R2. Smaller lot, 2,196 square feet. It's a bit older sale. It sold in October of 2016 for $137,500. For comparable number 3, located at 49 Lenore Street, also in Woolsey, also R2 zoning property with a square footage of 3,051 square feet. Land influences are back lane, commercial adjacent, and the park. That property sold in January of 2014 for $175,000. Comparable number 4. I guess it's 156 Evanson Street, also in Woolsey, also vacant land sale, same zoning as subject property, size 2,498 square feet. For land influences, it's commercial adjacent and internal corner. That is a 2013 sale, December 2013 sale for $160,000. Given why dated sales, I'll answer that. Woolsey didn't have a whole lot of sales actually outside the property on Newman. There weren't any more recent vacant land sales in Woolsey area. So those would be the better representatives of what would a vacant land sell for in Woolsey. And I guess following on page number 2 is a map with a subject property as well as the 4 comparables. That's all I have for this for my presentation, and I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sharpo, questions of the assessor?
I've got no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Mr. Whitbread? Richard, you're muted.
Yep, I have none, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Stephenson?
No questions, thank you.
I just have a couple questions. You've given a lot size. What is the frontage offhand? Is it 29?
It's about 30 or 29. I had it written down. It's more than 25. I had it written down just a second. Subject property, it's about 32, 33 foot depths. That's what I had it at.
Right. So.
Sorry, so just
you have-
frontage and 92-foot depth. My sorry, my fault.
But this is typical for the area, having a lot frontage like that, and they're normally, 2,900 square feet, something like that, all the
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you have comparable sale number one is the most recent, which has happened in 2020. And you have it coming in at $69.25 a square foot, correct?
Yeah, that's the sale price.
Okay.
Without any time
And-
adjustments.
Yeah. Yeah. But all the other comparables, 2, 3, and 4 are old sales, eh?
That is correct.
Okay. There's not a lot of vacant properties in the area, is there not?
Well, as far as vacant land sales, there were in Wolseley there were none outside the Newman one.
All right. I thank you. Mr. Sharpo, we're ready for your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To get on page 3 of our evidence brief. So again, just a quick description. This is a 2,954 square foot parcel of vacant residential land in Wolseley. It's been assessed at a value of $197,000, and we are requesting that this be reduced to $177,240. We have on page 4 just a snippet of the current assessment. And one thing I'll just point out here is the property has the commercial adjacent influence tied to it. On page 5, again, we just have our requested assessment of $177,240. Page 6, we have the valuation breakdown. I don't feel the need to spend too much time on this. We've already kind of gone over it. On page 7, we have both the assessment map and a satellite map of the property. And some photos on page 8. So on page 9, we've done our valuation. So as mentioned, there haven't really been many comparables of vacant land transactions in the area. So we've taken a look at improved land parcels that share the commercial adjacent feature with the subject property. So these are houses that are older, and it would be our position that these sales are more reflective of the land value. So in looking solely at the land area of these sales, we have our first one at 548 Clifton Street. It says a land area of 3,278 square feet. It's about 300 square feet larger than the subject. It sold in October of 2020 for $196,500. And this would equate to a sale price per land area of $59.95 per square foot. The second comparable we have is 542 Basswood Place. This one's a bit larger at 4,101 square feet. It sold in July of 2020 for $274,000. And that equates to a land value of $66.81 per square foot. And so again, these are improved properties. We acknowledge that. There have just been so few sales of vacant land. We believe that the closest comparable here is 548 Clifton Street at about $60 per square foot. And we believe that that would be a reasonable rate to apply to the subject property. On page 10, we just have some images of these two comparables. So again, from these, we can see that these are right by that commercial roadway, similar to the subject property. On page 11, again, we just have our requested value. So again, we're requesting a rate of $60 per square foot, and that gets us to a total requested value of $177,240. And then again, on pages 12 and 13, we just have the notice of hearing. And on page 14 and 15, we have the assessments of the comparable properties we've used. So again, page 14, 548 Clifton. We see this house was built in 1927. And so for that reason, we believe this sale was more for the land value than the value of the improvement. And it does have that commercial adjacent influence, as does 542 Basswood Place on page 15. So again, we respectfully request the board reduce the value to $177,240. And with that, I conclude the presentation and welcome any questions.
I thank you, sir. Mr. Assessor, questions of the applicant?
Okay, just a couple of questions. First question, so your 548 Clifton is your best comparable, is that correct?
We believe so, yes.
Okay. Do you know whether it's a regular shape lot or irregular shape lot?
I mean, just in looking at the satellite view, it looks like it may have a slightly irregular shape, but there's been no mention of that on the assessment for it.
Okay. And also, like, it is an improved sale. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, would you think that when improved sale is valued for vacant land purposes, you would typically add the cost of demolition to it? Would that be the proper approach?
Yeah, potentially. But if that were added to the sale price, then the value of the land itself would actually be lower, would it not?
No, if it's sold for 196 plus the cost of demolition, whatever it is, let's say 20,000, then the vacant land value would be 196 plus 20.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, but I mean, maybe that would have been factored into the price already. We don't really know if that.
We don't know that, yeah. Okay, those are all my questions. Thanks.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson, questions? Mr. Stephenson, you're muted.
Does the applicant want to comment on the comparables provided by the assessor?
Yeah, sure. I guess my comment would be that 3 of those comparables are older, from 2013 to 2016. And also they were below the current assessment on a per square foot basis. And then the other comparable at 543 Newman Street does not have the commercial adjacent influence. And yeah, I guess that would be my comments on those comparables.
Thank you.
I thank you, sir. Mr. Whitbread, questions?
Just one. So if I understand you, you've looked at the date the buildings were built and factored that into your decision to use them in your comparables. Is that true? The 1927, 1946 dates? I think that's the correct dates.
Yeah, we haven't really considered that in terms of our request. What we've just looked at is these are older properties. Given the sale price, we think it was likely that these were more built for or more purchased on land value rather than the value of improvement, given the age of these properties.
So you did factor the age in there to
In-
qualify them for your comparables.
Yes, as far as
Okay.
choosing the two properties
That's
goes.
what I wanted to confirm. Thank you. No further questions.
I thank you. Mr. Sharpo, your two comparables, they consist of land and building. And you've cranked out a price per square foot of roughly around, for Clifton, about $60 a square foot. But that's factoring in the improvement. Like it's the building itself. So you have to sort of, I think you probably have to give more consideration in regards to what the land is worth, because you're valuing two components here. You're valuing the improvement and the land. So, and then for Basswood, you've got, say, $67 a square foot, and that's land and building. So I don't know your reasoning behind um, your comparables. You have a mixture here compared to a straight vacant land. So maybe you can just explain to me that.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason we've done that is again because we weren't able to find any vacant land comparables. And we've just assumed that these sales, the entire sale price is attributed solely to the land. So we're assuming these are vacant parcels and the value of the improvements is zero. So if we were to remove the value of the improvement from the sale price, again, these calculations would decrease. So we do believe that since these comparables are improved parcels, the subject is not. It should therefore be lower.
All right. Mr. Sesser, summation if you want.
I guess a quick summation would be that again, like subject property is located in a Worcester area. It's a desirable area and didn't have a whole lot of vacant land sales. There are, however, some infills going on in the area. And yes, typically people would buy those houses and demolish them. So, and that would pose a question, what is the true land value of the property if you bought something to be demolished? So if you paid $120,000 or let's say if you paid $190,000 to a seller and then took out a permit and paid another $20,000 to a demolition company, your cost to get that property to be a vacant land would be $210,000, which is 190 plus 20. So I just want to bring that forward and ask the board to consider that. That's all I have. Thank you.
I thank you. Mr. Sharpo, final words, if you want.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just say that the cost to demolish would not be a factor in the value of the land. That would be something that that would be a cost that the purchaser would choose to incur after the fact. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Mr. Sharpa, you have one more on the docket here, so we'll go to that one. Mr. Sesser, we're going to go to 2194 Portage Avenue. Whenever you're ready, you can take us through the property.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, sorry you broke up on me there.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Arca, we're gonna go to 2194 Portage Avenue. You can take us through this property.
So, this property was a roll number 0705000700. Street address 2194 Portage Avenue, located in a Birchwood area. Is a one-story single dwelling built in 1949 with a 1964 effective age. It's a 1,058 square foot house with a full basement and no basement finish. Has one full bathroom, central air conditioner, and no detached structures. Okay. Subject property has a lot size of 27,840 square feet. For the land influences, it has a Assiniboine adjacent, so it is on the Assiniboine River, backing into it. And in the front, because it's on Portage, it has a bus road, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic. So the 2024 assessed value is $380,000 for this property. So for comparables, we are using the four comparables presented. All of them are adjacent to Assiniboine River, but they vary somewhat in the neighborhood areas. So comparable number one is 2100 Portage Avenue, very close to subject property. It's also in the same area, Birchwood neighborhood. It's a one-story single-family dwelling. It's 1950 built. It's a larger property. It's 1,825 square feet in size. It has a full basement and the basement finish. One full bathroom, one half bathroom, and one shower. It has a central air conditioner and a fireplace. And for additional structure, it has a multiple attached garage and a detached single car garage. It's a 19,060 square foot for lot size. And it has a Assiniboine adjacent, bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic. So similar land influences as the subject property. This property sold in January of 2021 for $440,000. And the time adjusted sale price is $447,000. Comparable number two is located on Assiniboine Avenue, 1774 Assiniboine Avenue in Bruce Park. It's 1952 year built with 1952 effective age, 1,126 square feet of living area, full basement with a basement finish, one full bathroom, half bathroom and a shower, central air conditioner, fireplace, single attached car garage, 8,820 square feet of lot size. And for land influences, it is Assiniboine adjacent only. Sale price of this property in August of 2020 is $370,000. And time adjusted sale price would be $391,500. Comparable number three is 138 Riverbend Avenue. It's in Bruce Park area. It's also one-story single dwelling, 1946 built, and same year effective age. 791 square foot house with a full basement and the basement finish, one full bathrooms and the central air conditioner. And there is no detached structures. Lot size 7,500 square feet. Assiniboine adjacent for land influence. Sold in August of 2018 for $348,500. Time adjusted sale price is $388,900. And the last comparable is on Palmerston Avenue in Woolsey, 1070 Palmerston. 1927 built, 1937 effective age, one-story single dwelling, 864 square feet. Full basement with a basement finish, two full bathrooms, one shower, no central air conditioner, one fireplace, and no detached structures. Okay, that was a lot size of 4,850 square feet. Assiniboine adjacent land influence. Sold in September of 2018 for $375,000. Time adjusted sale price is $406,500. Okay, so subject property also, like as you can see, had a post reference sale, which is irrelevant for this particular hearing. Some key features about subject property is it has the largest lot size. So the value would be here is the lot size, 27,000 square feet on Assiniboine, as well as updates that were done to the property according to the multiple listing service information. Best comparable number one, adjusted for size. So, and other detached structures would be the most accurate way to go about it. And other properties are slightly in different areas, and however pose a similar square footage as the subject property. That's all I have for my presentation, and I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sharpo, questions of the assessor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one, I believe. Would you agree that we would expect properties without the commercial adjacent or heavy traffic influence adjustments to transact at a higher rate, given they're not located on a major highway?
Well, yes, there is, of course, commercial adjacents and heavy traffic influences are negative influences. And the comparable 2, 3, and 4 would have to consider that.
Okay. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitbread?
Yes, did you visit the home to inspect it?
No, I did not.
You did not, so you don't know what condition it's in.
Well, there is an MLS listing that provides descriptions and pictures. It's because it's October 2021 sale, so it's a recent information about the house. And according to that information, the house is in a very good condition and doesn't have any issues.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. Behind the property is the Assiniboine River.
That is correct.
So what is your best comparable for the property? Is it sale number one?
I would say it's sale number one adjusted downwards because of the size, both size of the lot and size of the improvement.
All right. And there is a post-reference sale on the property, which we're not allowed to discuss. So it's beyond its post-reference. So we will not discuss that at all. Mr. Sharpo, your presentation, sir.
Mr. Chair. And we'll just begin on page 3 of our submission. So again, quick description here. The subject property is a 1,058 square foot, 1-story residential property in Birchwood. It's been assessed at a value of $380,000, and we're requesting that be reduced to $292,450. Again, on page 4, we have the current assessment. So again, this has the Assiniboine adjacent bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic influences applied. And so on page 5, we'll be requesting a value of $276.42 per square foot, which gets us to our $292,450. On page 6, we have, again, the assessment and satellite maps. So we can see here that this property is kind of sandwiched between the highway and the river. On page 7, we just have a photo of the property from the street and another from a satellite image. And so on page 8, we've provided our comparables. The first one is 2100 Portage. So this was comparable 1 from the respondent's document. So again, this is a slightly smaller land area, but it is the closest in terms of size. The year of construction is 1950. The living area is slightly larger at 1825 square feet, but it sold recently relative to the valuation date in January of 2021 for $447,000, which is a price per square foot of $244.93. So this property is also located in Birchwood. It has the Assiniboine adjacent, bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic influences. So all the same as the subject. And then our second comparable is 2454 Assiniboine Crescent. So this one is also adjacent to the river. It does not, however, have the commercial adjacent or heavy traffic influences. It was constructed in 1959, is 1,924 square feet. It was sold in August of 2020 for $592,400 for a value per square foot of $307.9 per square foot. So from this, we do believe that our first comparable at 2100 Portage is the most accurate, given it shares all the same influences. And the second comparable does not have the traffic or commercial adjacent influences. And so for that reason, we believe the average between these two to be an accurate representation of the value of the subject. This would also take into consideration some of the differences in terms of land area and size. And so from that, we're requesting an assessment of $276.42 per square foot. On page 9, we have some images of these two comparables. So again, 2100 Portage at the top, we believe is our closest comparable. Unfortunately, I should have done a better job of snipping this, but it is also similar to the subject in that it is sandwiched between the highway and the river. And then at the bottom of the page, 2454 Assiniboine, again, not on the highway, more residential area, but it is adjacent to the river there. And so in conclusion, on page 10, we're requesting a value of $276.42 per square foot for an assessment of $292,450. And as before, on pages 11 and 12, we just have the notice of hearing. And then on pages 13 and 14, we have the assessments of the two comparables we've used. So with that, I conclude my presentation and request the board to reduce the value to $292,450. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharple. Mr. Dark Hanoff, questions of the applicant?
Yes, a few questions. So to arrive at, so you are asking for the subject property to be valued at $276.42 per square foot. Is that an average value between basically your two comparables, time adjusted sale price divided by their living area?
Yes, that's correct.
I was wondering, like, it's the living area is significantly larger on those two comparables to what subject property is, almost twice the size. Did you take any consideration to adjust for economies of scale, given that kind of large discrepancy in living area size?
No, we haven't made any adjustments for that. The main thing we were looking at here was the properties being adjacent to the river, and then the traffic and highway influences.
Okay, so again, like if the maintenance property has been adjacent to the river, larger lot size adjacent to the river would typically pose a larger sale price. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and I mean that's why we're requesting a value that is above the sale price of 2,100 Portage. I think that does take that into consideration.
Oh, what you did is you did an average of the two without any adjustment to the living areas. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Whitbread,
I have none, thank you.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson,
Just a question for Mr. Sharples. Did you make any adjustments for comparing a two-story versus a bungalow on price per square foot?
No, we did not.
Okay, thank you.
I thank you. Either party wants summation?
Well, for quick summation, I just want to quickly point out that subject property is a 8,040 square foot lot. It's the largest lot provided in any comparables here, and that would have a value on its own. Plus, when board considers it, I would think that we have to consider the living area of subject property of 1,058 square feet, and if anything, apply economies of scale to better adjust for the value. In my opinion, like when comparing comparable number one, it sold for $440,000, time adjusted for $147,000, and the way to probably do it is, in my opinion, I would just adjust it downwards for the size of the house, but adjust it upwards for the size of the lot. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Sharpo, final word?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just say that both parties have identified our comparable one as 2,100 Portage Ave as the closest comparable to the subject property, and it sold at a time-adjusted sales price per square foot of over $100 per square foot below the current assessment of the subject property. I would ask the board to take that into consideration. Thank you.
I thank you, Mr. Sharpo. I think that concludes your part here this morning. So thank you for your appearance, and results very soon. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Sharples.
Have a good day.
Madam Secretary, the next item on the docket is 673.
Fairfield?
Yes, but there's nobody here, correct?
There is no applicant present.
All right, so this will be moved to the end of our docket, and we will discuss this later.
Okay, so the next one would be item number 6, and that would be our applicants that are in the waiting room. I'm just going to admit them, Adriana and Sal Cesario.
Okay, is this 1465 Loudon?
It is, yes.
All right. You can admit them and get them sworn in.
So my dad is here and he's just going to let you guys know that I'm going to be speaking on his behalf. So go ahead, Dad.
Okay.
Okay,
So we'll get you both sworn in because you're gonna probably give both evidence. So, Madam Secretary, whenever you're ready, you can swear in the applicants.
Absolutely. So Madam Cesario, please state your full name.
Adriana Cesario.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Cesario, please state your full name.
Sal Cesario.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Good morning to both of you. So, we'll first have the assessor go through your property and describe it and tell us what they've concluded for value. You may ask questions and along with the panel members, and then it'll be your presentation after that. All right?
Perfect. Thank you.
So, Mr. Assessor, whenever you're ready, you can take the property.
Right, so subject property with the roll number 01-005-907700, located at 1465 Loudon Road in Wilkes South neighborhood, is a one-story single dwelling built in 2020. It's 2,868 square feet. It has a walkout basement and a basement finish. 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 2 showers. It has a central air conditioner, and it doesn't have a fireplace. For detached structure, it has actually couple. It has an attached garage, which is a multiple. It also has a detached garage, which is also a multiple detached garage. As far as in-ground pools and sunrooms, subject property does not have it. Lot size is 43,011 square feet. For land influences, the neighborhood, the area doesn't have sewer or water for this city provided sewer or city provided water. Assessed value for 2024 is $1,485,000. Okay, so for the comparables, we use the comparables in the same area, Wilkes neighborhood south. And the comparable number 1 is 1300 Liberty. It's 2018 build, slightly larger house at 3,555 square feet. It's on a walkout basement similar to subject property. It has a basement finish, 3 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, and 4 showers. Central air conditioner. Actually, all of the properties have central air conditioners. It has a fireplace and a multiple attached garage. It does not have a detached garage. Lot size is 48,695 square feet, and it doesn't have any sewer or water. Similar to, I guess, to the area. So none of the comparables have sewer or water. Comparable number 1 sold in September of 2019. It sold for $1,875,000 with a time adjusted sale price of $2,028,800. Comparable to is 1270 Liberty Street. It's 2015 build, slightly smaller than subject property, 2,315 square feet. It has a full basement, not a walkout basement. As a subject property, it has a basement finish, 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, and 2 showers. It has a central air conditioner, 1 fireplace. Again, attached multiple car garage, no detached garages. Lot size 47,095 square feet, and similar land influences. This property sold in July of 2019 for $1,250,000. Time adjusted sale price is $1,355,000. Next comparable is located at 1495 Loudoun Road. It's a 2012 build, slightly smaller house again, 2,342 square feet. Again, just a full basement, not a walkout. Has a full basement finish. 3 full bathroom. No half bathrooms in the shower. It does have central air conditioner, no fireplace. Attached for attached garage, it has a multiple attached garage and no detached structures. Lot size 43,035 square feet. Again, same land influences. Property sold for $988,000 in December of 2018. Time adjusted sale price would be $1,076,900. Last comparable is located on McCreary Road, 1785 McCreary. It's a 2006 build, 2,706 square feet of living area, full basement, not a walkout. Basement finish, 3 full bathrooms, half bathrooms in the shower. It has a central air conditioner, 1 fireplace, multiple attached garage, and no detached structures. It's a larger lot on this one. It's 223,889 square feet for lot area. Again, similar influences for no sewer, no water, but it also has a park influence. This property sold in June of 2020 for $1,475,000, and time adjusted sale price is $1,557,600. And with that, that's all I have for my presentation, I believe. Let me just double check. I guess there was a note that the subject property doesn't so the comparable 1, 2, and 3 are smaller lot sizes similar to subject property. That is to bring forth that those 3 comparables would not have a septic field, but would have a holding tank that have to be I guess addressed similar to subject property. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions? What you heard in the.
Sorry, you're cutting out.
Questions,
Mr.
okay.
Chairman, I can't hear you.
Mr. Chair,
Sorry. Yeah.
are you able to hear Ms. Cesario? Are
Hello?
you able to hear us okay now?
Yes. Yes. Fine. Proceed.
Okay, Mr. Chair, we're not able to hear you. So I'm just going to ask everybody, we're going to take a 5-minute recess just so we can take a look at the AV, and then we'll be back after that.
Okay, thank
Is that
you.
okay with you, Mr. Chair?
Okay. We'll adjourn for 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll call the hearing back to order. Ms. Cesario, we're ready for your, I think we're ready for your presentation, or did you have questions of the assessor? I can't
No,
remember now.
I'm ready to begin whenever I'm good to go, whenever you give me the go
All right.
ahead.
I'll just see, board members, do we have any questions in regards to the city's presentation?
No questions from me.
Okay,
Bear with me just for one moment.
all right. Yeah, we have this interruption, and I sort of just lose where exactly we are, but,
No, you're in good shape.
okay. That is fine.
I have one question,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair. I'm looking at your comparables, Arca,
Mhm.
and comparable number 4 is about 5 times larger lot size than the other comparables and the subject property. Does that have any bearing in your mind, considering economies of scale, less for more, more for less? Can you comment on that? 5
Absolutely.
acres versus 1 acre?
Yeah. So what we have is and that comparable there is I believe it's without doing exact math with a calculator, I think it's about 5-acre lot. So with that being said, it's a different type of property for the area. Most likely it is allowed to have it is allowed to have a septic field, and probably does have it, unlike the comparable 1, 2, and 3 that would not have a septic field. So that given that that's a positive feature, given that as well as a lot size by itself, right? Just a larger property. So it is there to provide to show the panel that, for example, if we are comparing comparable number 1 and comparable number 4, like I don't like again like value wise, subject comparable number 4 would be a smaller property, and with a full basement, comparable number 1 has a walkout basement, but give and take, they sold for about the same price.
So
But
you're
yes,
looking
but
more
yes,
at the property size than the land area.
yeah, but again, like to answer a question, yes, land area is a positive feature and has to be treated that way.
Thank you. No further questions.
I thank you. Just to summarize, all the comparables are bungalows, as is the subject, and none of them have sewer or water, and all of them are septic tanks that need to be pumped probably once or twice a year. So, Mrs. Zario, the floor is yours. Take us through your property.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank everybody for their time today before I begin. So initially, our home was assessed at $1,262,000 in 2021. We were reassessed after a hearing on September 9th, 2021, and it was reduced to $1,001,000 for the assessment value. Unfortunately, we never received our notice regarding the reassessment before our new assessments were received. So we weren't able to speak to an assessment staff member, and we had to bring this to you again. So we received our 2023 assessment at $1,485,000. So in comparison to that initial assessment that we had in 2021, that's about $200,000 more. And in comparison to what we were reassessed at on September 9th, 2021, that's a substantial amount more, comparing $1,485,000 to $1,010,000. So based on our comparables on our street, we live on Loudon Road. Our first comparable is 1400 Loudon Road. It is a 3,066 square foot one-story home, and the land square footage is 55,500 square feet. It is assessed at $1,178,000. Our second comparable is 1665 Loudon Road. It is a one-story home as well, and it is 2,510 square feet, again, a one-story home, on a land square footage of 107,077 square feet. And that home is assessed at $1,120,000. We have a third comparable.
Ms. Rosario, I'm just going to stop you there because, as I said in our presentation, we do not compare assessments, okay? Because they could be wrong or under appeal.
Sorry, by assessments, I mean value. Sorry.
Your value then? Okay,
Value.
you're different. Okay,
Sorry,
it's
the
different.
value. The value of that home is 1 mil, so the first comparable is 1,178,000, and the second comparable is 1,120,000. Our third comparable is 1808 Loudon Road. It is a 1-story and it is also a walkout. And the square footage of that home is 2525 square feet. And the land square footage is 109,002 square feet. And that value is $1,103,000. So those three comparables, they are over an acre of land. So our property, 1465 Loudon Road, our square footage of our walkout home is 2,886 square feet, and our land square footage is 43,011 square feet. So unfortunately, we're just shy of an acre, so we aren't able to actually have a septic field. So with a septic field, we have somebody come in every year and remove our waste. Unfortunately, because our land property is much smaller than these other properties as well, we are required to have a holding tank. So with a holding tank, what happens is every 2 weeks, sometimes more, we have somebody come and remove our waste. So that runs approximately at $231, give or take $1 or $2 every 2 to 3 weeks. So our costs, not only for removing waste, are much more than a lot of these other properties who only have to remove once, maybe twice a year if they're running a little bit high on their waste. But our land values are much smaller than these properties as well. I would say our most likely comparable here is 1400 Loudon Road, where they're measuring again at 3,066 square feet and their land is 5,500 square feet. Their value is 1,178,000. But again, that is quite a substantial jump from $1,485,000, which is what we were just assessed at. And that is all I have to share.
Have you concluded value, what you think that the assessment might be?
Well, after our reassessment hearing in 2021, $1,001,001 is what we were assessed at. I think anywhere between that and our comparable at 1400 Loudon Road, which is 1,178,000, would be fair. Just because, like I said, our land square footage is comparable, and we are just under their square footage of their home as well, by about 400 square feet, I'd say. But again, taking into those considerations that they do have a septic field and we are sitting on a holding tank, the costs are, might I say, astronomical in the sense of waste removal in general. But yeah, I would say that would be our most comparable. And then second would be 1808 Loudon Road, which is in build wise very comparable because they're built on a walkout as well. But the square footage is just shy under of what we are. So they're 2,525 square feet, but their land size is doubled. So 109,002 square feet of land compared to 43,011 square feet of land. It's more than doubled, actually.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sesser, questions of the applicant?
Yes, couple of questions, absolutely. So you mentioned 1 acre. To my knowledge, provincial regulation sets a 2 acre minimum for a septic field. Is
Correct.
that different in your area?
So we aren't a full serviced road. So we bring in our water as well, similar to McCreary and similar to Liberty. McCreary is a full serviced paved road. Loudon and Liberty are not. So Loudon is partially paved and then goes into a gravel road. Liberty is completely gravel. So I'm not sure of what the regulations on McCreary and on Liberty are, which was what your comparables were. On Loudon, I know anything under 1 acre is not subject to a septic field. Just because when we were building the home, we were told, because we previously did live on a property that required septic. So our knowledge was we have to have a septic field. Unfortunately, because of the size of our property, we weren't able to do that. And we were required to have a holding tank, which was new information to us.
I just, yeah, another question is like, So just to be clear, I think so. The information you provided are not sales, right? They're assessed values.
Their values.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at my comparables 1, 2, and 3, so you would and comparable 1 is 48,000 square feet roughly. Comparable 2 is 47,000 square feet, and comparable 3 is 43,000 square feet, similar to yours. Because the first two comparables are actually over 1 acre size, and comparable 3 is actually slightly less than 1 acre, the benchmark of some sort. Would you say that comparable 1 and 2 have septic holding tank or a septic field?
From what I know, like I said, it depends on the land property. So from my knowledge, anything over an acre would have a septic
Septic
field,
field, yeah.
and then anything under an acre would have a holding
They have to
tank.
have 2 acres to have a septic.
Yeah, you're in order to, I believe it's 2
2
acres
acres.
to have a septic field.
Yeah, that was my understanding, 2 acres. That's why I was
Yeah.
confused with 1 acre area. So
So our
basically,
property is well under 2 acres, so.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
an
so
acre.
comparable 1 and 2 are also, I guess, would be under 2 acres in size. Okay, so those are all my questions. I guess, yeah, those are all my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Whitbread, questions of the applicant?
Yes, I would like to clarify, when you say value on these comparables, are you
Mhm.
talking about a sales value, recent
Yes.
sales,
Yes,
or,
sales
or
values.
assessed?
Sales values.
Okay, and do you know when these sales occurred?
I don't know when the sales occurred. They for sure have been in the last, I want to say 10 years.
In the last 15 to 10 years, you
I'm
said?
going to say 15 to 10.
Okay, but to the best of your knowledge, would they be prior to the reference date?
Sorry, say that again.
Would they be prior to our reference date?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, and I just wanted to pin you down a little bit and get more specifics from you on what you think the values should be. You're pretty vague on that.
I know, I'm just trying to give you guys a ballpark range. I mean, I would love to be reassessed at that reassessment value, which is $1,001,000. That's kind of what we're going for, but obviously we know that is could potentially not be possible. So we'd like to be under the $1,100,000 mark.
Thank you. No further
Thank you.
questions.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson, questions? Right now, Kevin, you're muted.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I was thinking if I had more questions than what Richard had asked. So to clarify, you're asking to have the same value as you had last time,
Correct. Yes.
3 years ago.
2021. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you. I just have a couple questions, Mrs. Rosario. This house was built in 2020?
Correct.
Okay.
We began building in 2019.
Okay. So you paid, obviously, for the land here, I think
Yes.
$310,000.
No, I didn't.
What was it? What was the value?
No, the line I paid was 90, that was 100, yeah, it was $300,000.
310, right? 310,000 around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So, what's the house custom built?
So it was actually built by my dad. He's a contractor. So he subcontracted out foundation, framing, that sort of stuff.
So, what are you into the house for? Land and building?
Value?
Yep,
So if the house,
roughly.
Roughly, land and building,
if the house is
under 8.
Under 8?
under 800,000.
Okay. What's the market like out there?
For Loudon or for the municipality?
For the area, Loudon, Liberty.
Well, there's been a house across the street just diagonal to us, kitty corner. It's been on the market for over 2
4
months.
months.
No,
No.
I would say between 2 and 3 months, and still for sale.
What are
Sorry.
they asking? What are they asking?
They're asking, oh God, I don't even,
1.1.
1.1 million.
1.1?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you have specified that you are seeking probably a value of 1.1,
Correct.
and the city's at close to 1.5.
Yes, just under.
You think it's a deterrent to have your properties with no sewer, no water, septic tanks? I would assume that you have a holding tank for water, and I think you said it's
Correct.
carted in.
Correct.
Carted.
Yes, underground, yes.
Yeah.
So everybody has holding tanks for water.
Correct. Yeah, everyone has to bring in their water.
Okay.
I would say bi-weekly.
And that's bi-weekly, like every 2 weeks. So in other words, twice a month, I'd have to bring in water.
And then we also have to do twice a month, remove our waste.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, that costs money. The water costs me about $400 a month, and the waste costs me about another
Five,
400.
five,
Five something.
560.
Because it's $230 a shot every time they come on and clean it out.
All right. I think that's all the questions that I have. Mr. Assessor, summation if you want.
Sure. So just to summarize, what we're looking at is a subject property that was built in 2020. Its area is 2,868 square feet, and it has a walkout basement, and it has a attached garage as well as detached structures. It's on a smaller lot, has at 43,000 and 11,000 square feet, and as appellant brought forth information, it has a holding tank and all other negative aspects that come with the area of living in South Wilkes, like no water. So all of the comparables that I have provided would have similar issues, except for comparable number 4, which would have a septic field. If we are to focus our attention on comparable number 3, which is the smallest comparable on a same road as subject property, same lot size, that property sold in 2018 for $988,000. Its time adjusted value is $1,076,900. And for living area, it's a smaller house. It's only 2,342 square feet. It has an inferior basement. It's not a walkout basement, it's a full basement. And it doesn't have a detached garage as subject property does. So if anything, adding value to the comparable number 3 would bring it closer to what assessed value is. That's all I have for my summation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. The Rosarios, would you wish summary of your presentation?
Yeah, just to summarize, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Thank you. Just to summarize as to what we were saying, our 3 comparables were on our streets in comparison to the assessor who is comparing homes that are on McCreary and on Liberty, which do have higher traffic, different protocols in regards to septic and water. So we just wanted to go forth with that and just remind you of the comparables that we came forward with today and the fact that we already have been reassessed in 2021. And that is all.
I thank you. So thank you for coming this morning, and thank you for your presentation, and results very soon. So have a pleasant day.
Thank you. You as well. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next one is 1460 Liberty Street. Nicole, is nobody present, right?
No, Mr. Chair, there is nobody present for that
So
property.
we'll be moving this one to the end of the docket, and we will deal with that later. So the next one we have is 18 Cashmere Cove.
And I'm going to admit
Mr.
the applicant right now.
Okay, and get them sworn in. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good morning again, Mr. Manigoli. Are you able to hear me okay?
I'm able to hear you as well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, Mr. Manigoli, please state your full name.
Pradeep Manigoli.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Manigoli, welcome, and we will deal with your property. We'll have the assessor take us through 18 Cashmere Cove. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Assessor.
Yes. So subject property is located on 19 Casimir Cove. It has a roll number of 0309 3007670. Two-story single dwelling built in 2022. Has 2,239 square feet of living area. Full basement, no basement finish. One full bath, 2 half baths, 2 showers, central air conditioner, and a multiple attached garage. 10,505 square feet for lot size. Assessed value is $536,000. The comparables that I have used are all in Prairie Point neighborhood, similar to subject property. They're all two-story single dwellings built around 2019 to 2021, so close to the date of subject properties. They all have similar characteristics for attached garages, and they are all full basement. So with that, I'll start with comparable number 1, 51 Carnston Place, 2,240 square feet house, similar to subject property, no basement finish, lot size 9,937 square feet. Property sold in 2019 July for $502,000. Time adjusted sale price $542,600. Comparable to 39 survey. Well, just slightly smaller property at 2,172 square feet. Again, similar features to subject property. Lot size 9,718 square feet. Sale price $487,000 in July of 2019. Time adjusted sale price $526,000. Comparable 3 is 23 survey. 2,234 square feet, similar to subject property. Lot size 8,099 square feet. Sold in July of 2020 for $489,774. Time adjusted sale price $517,200. And last comparable is 18 Barnwell Road, 2,249 square foot house. Other features are very similar to subject property. It does have a fireplace, however, and lot size 6,152 square feet. That property sold in March of 2021 for $565,000. Time adjusted sale price is similar, $565,000. Okay, so with that, I just want to point out that subject property is has a substantial large lot size of 10,505 square feet. It's I tried to find the comparables that are similar, close in size, and this is the best that I found. Most properties in the area, a lot of properties in the area that have sold are only 5,000 square foot, give or take. But because of the subject properties lot size, I was looking at properties with a large lot size sales, and this is best we can find, with comparable number one being at closest at 9,937 square feet and going down from there. Other than that, everything else is very much similar, even the comparables, and I ask the board to maintain the value of $536,000. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Manoli, question of the assessors was, yeah.
Mr. Chair, we're having a hard time hearing you again.
Okay, let's just take, I'm gonna probably have to reboot it. So let's take 10 minutes.
Okay?
Is that okay? So we'll reconvene at 10:39. All right, thank you. We'll call the meeting back to order. We're at a point right now, Mr. Mangoli, questions of the assessor in regards to what you just heard from them.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and honorable members of the board. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be heard. I just have a few questions pertaining to what the assessor just presented. First and foremost, may I know the basis for selecting the 4 properties that he did in comparing with the subject property, which is 18 Caspia Cove?
As I said in my presentation, it was the size of lot size. So what we're looking at is lot sizes closer to 10,000 square feet that were sold within the reference time frame.
Okay, so is the lot size the main discriminating factor or the criteria in choosing those properties?
One of them, yeah. Like again, I had to stay close to the living area and neighborhood, and
Okay,
Mhm.
fair enough. So I had a question about one of the properties that we have selected, which is 23 Sir B. This one has a finished basement and 3 full baths and 1 half bath, versus my property, which is just 1 full bath and 2 half baths. So I was wondering, how would that make it a comparable property, except with the fact that mine has a larger land area?
Well, if we look at living area, it is very similar to yours. It's in the same neighborhood. Yes, there are differences in bathroom counts, and actually, not everything is exactly the same.
Mhm.
However, it does have a lot size which is also over 5,000 square feet, because most of the sales that I saw were around 5,000 square foot lots, with those 4 being like similar to what your property is, 10,000 square foot.
Mhm. And similarly, the one on 11 Bar Mill, for example, has a fireplace, whereas mine does not. So I was wondering if that would still make it a comparable property.
Yes, it would. Certain things, and I guess as assessors we take into consideration, and some adjustments have to be made. Like they're not all 2,239 square foot either. So some of them are slightly larger, some of them are slightly smaller. So all of those things are adjusted, whether upwards or downwards, based on what you're looking at.
Fair enough. Okay. And coming to my own property, which is a subject property, it has a negative property influence because a hydro transform box is located right in front of the house. Why has this negative property influence not been taken into account while doing the assessment? And the reason I say this is that the property assessment page on the city of Winnipeg doesn't show this property influence factor when I looked at my property details.
Yeah, that is correct. It is something that we would have to update. However, hydro transformer boxes do not affect the resale value of the property. They are there, but on a larger scale, we didn't find in our analysis any difference in value where it would affect the sale price of the property. So it is an influence, but it's more of a neutral influence. It doesn't have any positive or negative effects in a marketplace. Some individual property owners may like it or may not like it, but on the marketplace, it doesn't have an effect.
Oh, okay. Because if I were to be a potential buyer and if I had two properties that I was looking at, one of them had a hydro transformer box in front of it versus the other one which did not, I would go in for the one that did not. In fact, a couple of my neighbors expressed a similar view. They said, why did you buy this property that has a hydro box? Because there may be occasions that the hydro staff may have to come and open the box and then do some repairs as and when warranted, which would disturb that side of the landscaping that you have on your property. And I said, I liked everything else about this location, so I did overlook the fact that it had a hydro box.
Yeah, that's exactly what a lot of people are in the same boat. They overlook it, and that's how that's how statistics is built. And
Okay. And one more thing, as per the guidelines of the city, it says proximity of services is one of the features that determines the market value of the property. Considering the fact that the Winnipeg Transit bus service, the nearest bus stop from my house is about 1 kilometer, or to be precise, 900 meters, which is a comparatively greater distance as compared to any of the properties that you have compared with. For example, the one on 31 Sidney has a distance of just 170 meters versus and 51 Cranston has 300 meters, and 39 Sidney and 11 Barmel Road have 600 meters, which ensure that there is proximity of services. And this is really helpful for those of us who commute to for work and had to take a bus in the morning and also return home every evening. So this factor also, I would say, would be a negative factor which affects the value of the property. Definitely people would look at what is the proximity of the bus stop if they were to actually consider buying a property and if they were dependent on the city transport.
well, okay, so that I guess the question is, if I understand the question, I'll try to answer it. So you said it's 900 meters away from a bus stop, whether it affects the value, and the thing of it, the way like bus stops, bus routes are typically a negative influence on the property. Like if your property has a bus stop on it, that typically affects the property value in a negative way. If your property has a bus route on it, that typically affects the property of the value in a negative way, because it's usually has a higher traffic road that your property is attached to. So when property does not have a bus route, it is treated as such in a more positive way for the residential area. Again, like being 900 meters away or 500 meters away, it's an individual preference. Some people enjoy it, some people do not enjoy it. For some people who want to take a bus, it's more of a challenge. For people who want to stay away from the bus, it's a positive feature. So the the fact that it's 900 meters away does not really affect the land influence, and for the assessment purposes, it's again individual person's property owner's preference. However, given that Prairie Point is a suburban neighborhood built with a residential scope in mind, having a bus route, whether it's 900 meters away or 500 meters away, or would not affect the market value.
Okay. And also, one more factor that I'd like to highlight here is that the property is located pretty close to Brady Dump. In fact, just a couple of 100 yards, I would say. And at times, there is such a bad stench that it would be impossible for us to go out and then have a walk or do any of the outdoor activities. So this is definitely a negative property influence. I'm sure you'll agree with me. So, and as compared to the properties that you compared in the North Prairie Point area, the area in the neighborhood in which our property is located, which is south part of Prairie Point, has much closer proximity, and the severity of this Brady Dump influence is much more greater. So how is that being taken into account?
Well, again, the entire, I guess, neighborhood, Prairie Point, Bridgewaters, they're all affected by it. So whether it's somebody is few hundred meters closer to it or few hundred meters farther from it, that feature is large enough to affect everybody. So when you look at the neighborhood, I would say that that particular feature affects everybody, all the residents in the area. So it equally affects everybody.
Yeah, I mean, closer the proximity, severe is the influence, is what I'm trying to say. Although, yes, I do agree that Bridgewater neighborhood, South Prairie Point, North Prairie Point, all those areas are equally affected, but we are affected even more than the others. But anyways.
Yeah, again, like it's, I guess the view of the department is that unless we find the true market difference in prices, that there will be a statistics made, you know what, the dump affects so much percentage every so many meters closer to it or farther from it. Right now, we're treating it as one area that affects everybody.
Yeah, you don't have any guidelines as such that exist right now, is what you say.
Yeah, maybe it will be built in the future, maybe not. But right now, it seems like it's the price is more affected by the type of property it is, type of house you have, type of lot you have. Those are the factors. Everything, other things like the dump especially affects everybody.
Yeah, fair enough. And lastly, I would like to know, again, the properties that you have compared have certain upgrades, like a wall cladding on the front, or some of them have a siding, which is an architectural enhancement, which increases the property value because it adds to the aesthetics of the property. Whereas mine doesn't have any of those features. So has this been considered at all, sir?
They are typically considered in overall by the model, but not in what we are seeing here presented in front of us. And those properties would, I guess, have different effects, like on the type of build, type of quality of the house, but overall, it would appear that we are looking at something similar based on square footage right now. So I did so I did not, when I searched for the comparables, I did not look at whether something has a stucco siding, whether something has a brick siding. Like again, the main focus was to look at the property being similar to your property and the lot sizes being at least somewhat closer to your lot size.
I believe that's all the questions I have, Mr. Chair.
I thank you, sir. I'll just see if the panel members, Mr. Whitbread, any questions?
Yes. How far is the subject property away from your 4 comparables on your map? Is that 1 kilometer? Is it 2 kilometers? Do you have any sense of that, Arca?
Yeah, it's about, I want to say, roughly around a kilometer.
Okay.
No more than that.
And were you unable to find any sales comparables in the vicinity of this property?
It's a newer development, so as far as lot size, I wasn't able to find anything, and because of that, there may have been other sales that have smaller lot sizes, but that wasn't the scope of my, I guess, search when I was looking for it.
So you were really trying to look at that 10,000 square foot lot size, or roughly thereabouts.
Yes.
Okay, appreciate that. Thanks. No further questions.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson?
No questions.
I thank you. I have none. So, Mr. Madagoli, your presentation, sir.
Sure, sir. Thank you. I had in my evidence presented a table which compares the properties in the neighborhood. Do you have access to that table with you?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I have listed 7 properties that I have tried and compared with the subject property. However, to save time for all of us, I would like to choose maybe 3 or 4 of them, which, in my opinion, I feel are the closest to my property.
Mr. Bendigo, can I interrupt for 1 second? Are you comparing assessments?
I'm comparing the time-adjusted sale prices, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm aware that comparison of assessment values are not permitted. Yeah, I do realize that.
Good. Okay, we're on the same track then. The floor is yours. The floor is yours, sir.
All right, sir. So the first property that I would like to compare is the one located on 51 Delisle Court. This one was built in 2020 and again sold in the same year, 2020. I guess the builder built it and kept it ready for a potential buyer, and that is how it got sold in the same year, I guess. And just for your information, this particular property is the same model and built by the same builder. It is by a builder called Ventura Custom Homes. And the model of the house is called Edgemont, which is the same as I own. So I believe it is a pretty good comparison to make because it is identical in terms of the number of rooms, in terms of the living area, in terms of number of bathrooms, in terms of basement area, everything. Except, of course, the only discriminating factor is that, as the assessor rightly pointed out, mine has a greater land area. So this one, the property on 51 Delisle Court was sold for $476,900 time-adjusted sale price as of the current date. And it also has a finished basement. And it is identical in respect of air conditioning. Both of our homes have central air conditioning, and both of us do not have a fireplace. So when this one went for $476,900, I feel that I have a pretty good case for reducing the assessment value of my property. That is the first property that I'd like to compare. And the second one that I would like to take up is the one on 64 Skyline Drive. This one has a bigger living area than our property at 2,291 square feet. And again, 2-story, and basement is unfinished. And this one was sold in 2020, and the time adjusted sale price is $473,500. And again, it has those upgrades that I mentioned earlier about, namely the stone cladding on the front. Even the other one, namely 51 Delisle Court, also has a stone cladding on the front, which is, according to me, definitely a positive influence, which increases the property value. And the third property that I would like to compare would be the one on 63 Delisle Court, which again has a comparable living area as at 2,225 square feet, 2-storied, and not a finished basement. And this one has a time adjusted sale price of $459,400. And this was sold in the year 2021. And again, it has a central AC and no fireplace. And the last one that I'd like to compare is the one is number 51 on Sir Bay. It is on the same bay as the assessor compared two of its properties with. And this one has a living area of 2,218 feet, again comparable to my property. This was sold in 2020, and it has a time adjusted sale price of $461,500. And again, it has a upgrade by way of stone cladding on the front. So these 4 properties I feel are a good example to highlight the fact that what the actual market value of the property, of my property in this area would be if I decide to sell it, and should be adjusted accordingly. That's all I have for my presentation, sir.
I thank you, sir. Mr. Assessor, questions of the applicant?
Just one quick question. All of the comparables you have presented have a smaller lot size. Is that what you? Is that correct?
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what approximate lot size of those comparables are?
Oh yeah, sure. The one on 63 Delisle Court has a land area of 5,391 square feet. And the one on 51 Delisle Court has an area of, again, 5,597 square feet. And the one on 51 Sir Bay, sorry, what I quoted just now was 51 Sir Bay, which is 5,597. 51 Delisle Court has 5,259 square feet. And lastly, the one on 64 Skyline Drive has a land area of 5,049 square feet.
Thank you very much. Those are all my questions.
I thank you. Mr. Whitbread?
Yes, I may have missed this, but I don't see a value that you've requested for the property.
Oh, I did not. You're not missed. In fact, I didn't think that it was a requirement to put that. Probably I would, considering the properties that I presented in comparison, and also what I perceive as a true and fair market value, I would assume any assessment value in the range of around $450,000 would represent a fair and reasonable market value of the property, should the property be put on the block.
Sorry, was that 450?
$450,000, sir. Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson?
Mr. Magoli, just one question. If a house is built 2 or 3 years later than some of the ones you're comparing to, do you think that would affect the value? Like, so it's 2 or 3 years newer?
Not substantially. Marginally, yes, it might. On the other hand, I feel that a newly built construction, if it is just 1 or 2 years old, it is good that any issues that are associated with the new construction would show up in this 1 or 2 years, and it would be a good idea and a wise decision on the part of a potential buyer to buy a property that has been built at least 1 or 2 years ago, as compared to buying a brand new property or getting it built like I did.
No other questions. Thank you.
I thank you. Ms. Mongoli, you've certainly done your homework here, and I just have a few questions for you.
Mhm.
All your comparables, you have a range of $430,000 to $453,000. So you feel as if that is the respectable range for that your property might fit into?
That's right, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So I noticed that in the assessments department, they have a range here, and the lowest being $487,000 and up to $565,000. With that in mind, I'm looking at your comparable of 51 Sear, and that is probably similar to your place, and it was sold in 2020.
That's right.
So you had stated, as Mr. Whitbread had said, you'd be happy with around the 450 mark.
Yes, I would be, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right. Just tell us just a little bit about your lot. Is the particular large lot? So what is this why you bought this property?
Well, honestly, at the time of buying the lot, I didn't realize that it had such a big land area. Probably I would like to put it that it is a kind of double-edged sword, in the sense that it is a big effort to even fence this property and be able to maintain it reasonably well. So in fact, I have the big the issue at hand is to probably talk to my immediate neighbors. For example, I share my backyard with about 6 different neighbors. And what I intend to do next summer is to talk to each and every one of them and probably ask them to see if they are okay with the idea of sharing the cost of the fence. And even after getting the fence done, maintaining such a big land would be a big challenge for me. So to answer your question, no, at the time of buying the property, I did not realize that the land area was so big.
Is it rectangular in shape, or is it like a pie lot? I don't have.
It is a pie lot with a very irregular backyard. And that's the reason why I said I'm sharing it with 6 different neighbors
All right.
on different streets.
That's very astute. All right. I think that's all the questions. Mr. Assessor, do you wish to have a summary?
Yeah. Again, just a quick summary. Like focus of my presentation was to show the panel that this area, Prairie Point, for that area, subject property has one of the larger lot sizes. I guess market participants do view larger lot size as a convenience. They can do more with their lots. They can enjoy more of their property, and that is a positive feature. Sales suggest that once you move into larger lots, there is actually the the sales dollar value is higher than what applicant has provided, that of the properties that are similar to subject property in building aspects, however, have a smaller lot sizes. They definitely have a different price point. With that, I rest it in your hands. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Mr. Matagoli. Final word?
Yes, Mr. Chair, sure. I would like to summarize that considering that the property is located in North Prairie Point, have better proximity of services. Although it was pointed out by the assessor that the presence of a bus service is a negative, I don't think I would consider it so, nor would any of the residents that live on this part of the neighborhood, because it is a lot of immigrant population here who commute to work and to go to the universities and things like that. And they are highly dependent on the Winnipeg transit service to do so. So while it is a good idea to be walking to the bus stop during the months when the weather is good, it is a highly demotivating, and it's something that last thing that you want to do is to walk a kilometer to reach the nearest bus stop. And again, the same thing applies while coming on the way back. And also the closer proximity to the Brady dump, which has its own set of issues, like especially the bad stench emanating from it at times, would discourage us from doing any outdoor activities whenever this happens. And also that the negative influence of the property, of my property, namely the presence of hydropox, which definitely I would say would pull down the market value as compared to another property which does not have one. This is a negative factor. So considering all this, I sincerely feel that $450,000 would represent a fair and just market value for my property. That's all I had to submit. Thank you, Mr. Chair and honorable members of the board, for giving me an opportunity to present my case.
I thank you very kindly, sir. I think we have heard about your property, and we will leave it with us. So thank you for coming this morning, and results very soon. And have a pleasant day.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you, and wish you all the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you
good day.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. The last one that we have is 24 Creekside Road, and there is nobody here. for that property, Nicole?
That's correct. There is nobody present
Right.
for that property.
So we will move that to the end of the docket. And we are going to take a recess to deliberate all the remaining items on the docket. So we'll shut it down for a few minutes, Nicole. And panel members, we will discuss the remaining docket, which are 3 properties.
Mr. Chair, would you like to have the assessor read the properties into the hearing?
After we, have a little recess, and
Okay.
then we'll come back, and then he'll read through all the properties that we have to deal with.
Okay, wonderful. Just give me a moment.
I thank you. Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. And ARCA, we have some properties to deal with. And the first one we're going to deal with is 673 Skirfield Road. You can read in the file number, the roll number, give us a brief description, and then we'll deal with it.
Okay. So file number 23237, roll number 0306 8289400. Located at 673 Skirfield Boulevard in White Ridge neighborhood, is a one-story single dwelling built in 1998 with a 5-year effective age, so 2003 effective age. It's a 1,597 square feet living area with a full basement and a basement finish, 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, 1 shower, central air conditioner, 1 fireplace, and a attached garage, which is multiple. Lot size 6,940 square feet. Land influences bus route, external corner, and the medium traffic. Assessed value for 2023 is $508,000. And for comparables, they're all one-story single dwellings, all in the same area, which is White Ridge. They all have full basements and they all have basement finishes. They all have central air conditioners. They all have multiple attached garages. Comparable one, some differences. Comparable one doesn't have a fireplace.
ARCA,
Yes.
you've briefly summarized it, and there's no need to describe each particular property. So you can more or less say that you're seeking to just confirm the value.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So my recommendation.
Just one other question. Any contact there by the client at all?
Not to my knowledge, not with me.
Okay.
Just to clarify, I am an assessor who took over this case. So if there was any contact with the previous assessor who was assigned to the case, I wouldn't be aware of it.
All right. I thank you.
So my recommendation is to maintain the value of $508,000 based on the comparables provided on my report. Thank you very much.
And basically what you've said is there's been no contact with the and he's a no-show at this hearing.
Yeah, to my knowledge, there was no contact.
Okay. Mr. Whitbread, any questions in regards to what you've just heard?
I have none, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Stephenson?
No questions, thank you.
All right. So that's that one. Now we'll go to 1460 Liberty. ARCA, whenever you're ready, you can take us through this property and,
Yep, absolutely. So file number 2365. Roll number for the property 0100155350. Located at 1460 Liberty Street in the Wilkes South neighborhood. It's a one-story single dwelling built in 1996 with the same year effective age. 1,743 square foot of living area. Has a full basement and with a basement finish. 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, shower, central air conditioner. It has 2 types of garages. It has a multiple attached garage and a multiple detached garage. Lot size 46,382 square feet, and typical to the area, no sewer, no water. 2024 assessment value is $564,000. The four comparables that I have used are all in the same area. They're all one-story single dwellings. There's some fluctuations in the living area. However, their lot sizes are all relatively small, under 2 acres on the comparables. And sale prices are ranging anywhere between $420,000 to $1,250,000. The smaller lower sale price also has a low square footage of only 988 square feet, so which typically is to be adjusted upwards. So it is my recommendation to maintain the assessed value of $564,000 to as supported by the comparable sales. Thank you very much.
I thank you, sir. Any contact there from the applicant?
I did not contact the applicant, and the applicant did not contact me.
All right, I thank you. Mr. Whitbread, any questions?
I have none, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Stephenson?
No questions, thank you.
All right. So the last one we have is 24 Creekside Road. The floor is yours, Mr. Sesser.
Right. So file number 2372, roll number 0309 29830015. The property is located on 24 Creekside Road in Bridgewater Lakes neighborhood. It's a two-story single-family dwelling built in 2018. It's a living area of 2,212 square feet with a full basement and no basement finish. Two full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom, 1 shower, no central air conditioner, and no fireplace, and a multiple attached garage. Lot size 5,430 square feet with a walkway influence. Assessment for 2024 is $538,000. The four comparables provided are all similar, but not exact to subject property. They are all in the same neighborhood, with a very close year built, very close. Well, some fluctuations in the living area, however, relatively close. No basement finishes on every one of them, with some variations on air conditioners and fireplaces. Sale prices range anywhere from 500. Time adjusted sale prices range anywhere from 536,900 to 736,600. And I asked the board to maintain the assessed value of $538,000 based on the comparables provided. Thank you very much.
I thank you. Any contact there from the applicant?
I did not contact the applicant, and there was no. Applicant didn't contact me either.
I thank you. Mr. Whitbread?
No questions, thank you.
I thank you. Mr. Stephenson?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. I have none. Mr. Dark Hanoff, we thank you for your presentations, and I think you are free to go. So have a pleasant day, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you very much. You have a pleasant day as well,
All right.
all of you. So have a good day.
Too. Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Somebody need 5 or 10 minutes? I'm sorry, yeah.
Mr. Chair, I will just go put us in recess. And is this hearing now concluded?
I think I should read, we have heard all the items scheduled at the hearing, and this hearing is now adjourned.